Hello Aries and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a reading for January 2023 looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future. I have the overall energy for the reading with a different oracle deck, but then I've already pulled these oracle cards. I've clarified those. I have a tarot deck I'll jump into, and then I have my clarifying deck and my Soul Truth Self-Awareness deck that I will use as an advice card. Both of these will be used in the extended. That's it. I'm going to jump in. In your recent past, you have a new romantic cycle begins with the Six of Swords. So what I'm seeing is a cycle is trying to start, but I feel like you're kind of stuck. It's like, I feel like you're stuck in limbo. I don't know. It just feels like you're kind of in between an old cycle and a new cycle. But then in your current energy, you have hold your vision with the King of Pentacles in reverse. So the way that I'm seeing this is your vision, which you want, obviously, out of your love life, is happening for you. But with the King of Pentacles in reverse, you're too focused on the fact that it hasn't materialized yet. But there's something that needs, because then you have in your immediate future, bring love into the situation with the Three of Swords in reverse. So there's something that still needs to be healed before this new cycle can begin. It's like something from the old cycle needs to be healed to start a new cycle. The overall energy for this reading, you have focus and boundaries. I really like this because I feel like it's definitely in alignment with what needs to be healed. Like, I don't know if you're focusing on your boundaries or if there needs to be a focus on what boundaries you currently have. But I do see that there's this need to heal something, because to me, the Three of Swords in reverse can also be like forgiveness, could be self-forgiveness. So we'll have to see what exactly the messages are, but there's something about needing to let go a little bit more of something that's happened in the past. All right, Aries, let's take a look at your recent past. Because with the Six of Swords in reverse, there's something that needs to be moved on from before you can step into this new cycle. Recent past for Aries, the King of Pentacles in reverse, or the Seven of Swords. So the thing is, it's funny because you have that right there. There is this focus on your material world, but with the Seven of Swords, there's a lot hidden from you. There's a lot that you don't see about what's coming towards you. This has been a huge theme recently. And really all my readings has been like there's a lot of really good coming for you, but you don't expect it. I just feel like there's a need to really have a little bit of faith here. Now, I don't necessarily know if this is a new beginning. Like, you could be in a relationship already. You could not be. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's a new cycle, right? I feel like your intuition kind of is telling you some change is coming, or something there's a revitalization of a relationship. I'm not sure, but there's something here about, I mean, you have a new romantic cycle begins, but I don't feel like it's begun yet, because I feel like there needs to be a shift in, there needs to be a little bit more healing done. All right, recent past here for Aries. My dog is sleeping. She's so cute right now. Wish I could show you guys. All right, recent past for Aries. The Artist and the Five of Wands in reverse. So this is about you, because the Artist, to me, this is a card, this deck specifically has two additional major arcanas, the Artist being one. You can see that he's like creating his life in the 5D, right? It's that as above, so below. It's about co-creating your life with the universe. But then you have this Five of Wands in reverse, where it's like you're still, whatever new is trying to come in is being blocked by something from the past. So if you're wanting to maybe take a next step in a relationship, or you're wanting to start a new one, or you're wanting a relationship to get better, it's currently something's being held up by old energy. Because there's Six of Swords in reverse. There's something that's being stuck. Can I get clarity on the Six of Swords in reverse? Let's see. Clarity on the Six of Swords in reverse here for Aries' recent past. Clarity on Six of Swords in reverse for Aries' recent past. Clarity on Six of Swords in reverse for Aries' recent past. Okay. You have the Five of Wands in the Well. So there could have been, okay, I'm going to read this in a couple of ways. Because then you have the Nine of Cups in reverse. There could have been like a lot of conflict that you've experienced in a past relationship, or like just a lot of like always needing to, like, I'm just getting this vibe that like there wasn't a lot of trust in a past relationship you had. Um and you're kind of, there's a level of bringing that in to something new. Now, whether that's something new that hasn't started yet and still needs to be healed so that you can have a new beginning, or some relationship that kind of um, needs to get back on its feet, or you feel like some things are off, and it's because you're bringing this past energy into something new and then projecting it on that new thing. Now, that is a super common thing to do. And that's why healing from a past relationship before getting into a new one is so vitally important. And I feel like to a certain extent, that's why it's saying a new cycle in your love life is trying to start, but there's this energy of being stuck on old energy, which is why there needs to be, I feel like there needs to be forgiveness. I feel like you're like, no way in hell. But just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that you let them back into your life or that you even need to speak to them about it. Forgiving someone else who wronged you is allowing yourself to take your power back from them, because the more that you hold anger, and it's like the more they live rent free in your mind, um, the more that they're still having power over you. So having that forgiveness and saying, you did what you did to me, but like maybe, oh, ooh, here's something. So with this focus and this boundaries, it's almost like there's a level of self-forgiveness that's needed too. Because if someone crossed your boundaries time and time again, it's because you let them, right? Now, that's not saying it was your fault. That's not what I'm saying. What you've been through in the past is not your fault. Your trauma is not your fault. However, the more you can take responsibility and say, yeah, I let them. I let them hurt me. I let them hurt me one too many times, and I should have walked away earlier, or I should have shut that down, or whatever the case is. The more you can take responsibility for the role you play, the more you can take your power back. Now, again, this is not victim blaming. This is not me saying that whatever happened to you, you deserved, or it was your fault. That's not at all the case. It's just a level of, when people get out of abusive relationships a lot, I'm not saying that that's what you were dealing with, but just giving a higher level example, they deal a lot with being angry at themselves, because they'll be like, why did I let myself stay in that for so long? And so whatever the situation is, there's almost like this level of forgiveness for yourself that's needed for boundaries that you didn't implement in the past. I really like that. That is a cool message, because that means that, like, I don't know, like there's, I don't know, like healing available to you so that you don't have to carry around the burden of what happened to you so much. Okay, current energy for Aries. Because, yeah, it's like this conflict from your past is affecting your current energy. The Tower and the Death card. Interesting. Something ended. Mm-mm. Tower and the Death card. Obviously, I know, like these seem like really scary energies, but it just doesn't feel like it. Hang on, I want to get clarification on this message. I don't usually do this, but clarification on this message. Clarification. It's like realizing something had to end, something had to fall away to make room for something new, for something better for you here. Yeah, they don't want me to clarify. There's no clarification here. They Spirit, the divine doesn't want me to clarify. It's like something had to end to make room for something better. And I feel like there's still maybe like resentment being held on to for the past that's being brought into a new cycle. And you can't bring it into a new cycle. That's why this new cycle is is trying to start, but there's like, it's like you're not able to, because it's like, and that's why this whole, your vision with the King of Pentacles in reverse is saying like, you're focused too much on what happened, not why it had to happen. And that's how you heal, right? You start to understand your role, their role. Like, one of my favorite, it's actually in this deck, one of my favorite quotes was like, a person who blames others has not begun their lesson. A person who blames themselves has begun their lesson. And then a person who blames no one has finished their lesson. And it's like, the more that you can see, it's easy to say, well, they did this to me, they did that to me. And the more that you do that, you're saying, that means other people can do it to me again. But the more that you say, okay, well, yeah, they did that to me, but the first time it happened, I should have stopped it. And then you're able to say, okay, that means that next time I feel like that, I'm not going to do that again. And so that's why it's like, I feel like there's that level of like needing to forgive yourself for the way somebody else treated you in the past, so that you don't bring that energy into whatever new is trying to come into your life. Current energy for Aries, and trust me, it is hard. I mean, coming from someone who was in an emotionally abusive relationship, it's hard, but it's also very freeing when you're able to forgive that person and like get to this place of indifference where you're like, I don't really care. I had to go through that. All right, current energy here for Aries, the Ace of Wands with the Temperance. Make sure if you're investing in your love life that you're not just focused on the passion, the sexy time stuff. Make sure that you're focused on the emotional aspect of a connection too, because I feel like that feels like a message I don't want to deliver. Yeah. It's like sometimes you will let somebody cross your boundaries because you feel it makes you more valuable to that person. You're picking up what I'm putting down. And that starts to hurt you over and over and over again, because you start to feel like you're betraying yourself. And I feel like that's kind of what has happened in the past, is you let your boundaries down, you lower your expectations, you let people cross your boundaries because you think that that means that you're more valuable to them, that means that they'll stick around, or that you're hurting them if you do hold your boundaries. And all I can say to that is, the people who get upset with you setting boundaries are the people who benefit the most from you not having. And that is a person that doesn't deserve to be in your life. And I feel like maybe there's a level of you that knows that, but there's also this idea that like, I'm never going to find someone who does respect my boundaries. And that's also not true. I get it. I get that feeling, because what you've been through in the past, it's like maybe you had someone tell you time and time again that your worth lied in maybe what you did for them, or when you did, lower your boundaries. And so that's and this could be not just a past relationship, but this could be like a parental relationship that you felt that kind of feeling. But this is really about like realizing that your worth matters more than the love of anybody else in this world. The love and acceptance of yourself is the single most important aspect of your life. And I feel like that's why it's like, hold your vision about what's possible and stop focusing on like what hasn't happened yet, because your love for yourself is what's going to carry you forward into a new cycle, right? And maybe that is like setting boundaries with someone that you're currently in a relationship with and saying, I don't like when you do that. I don't like when you talk to me that way. I don't like when I feel obligated to do these things because you think that that's what I'm here for. Like, whoever you're in a relationship with should love and care for you for being you, not because of what you do for them. I don't know. That was a little side note, but I just felt, I don't know, I felt that. Okay, current energy for Aries. I hope this is resonating for someone. Page of Cups with the Seven of Swords in reverse. There's, again, it's like, like, watch out for deception. Because I feel like, and I feel like you are, because you have the Seven of Swords and this Ace of Swords. It's like seeing through the lies of someone. And it could have been the lies that someone told you in the past. I feel like that's a big thing too. Like, if someone made you feel a certain way about yourself or told you certain things about yourself, like, making sure that you don't believe those things, right? And of course, again, it's so much easier said than done. I don't know, this is interesting. You're in a really healing energy, but it's like, it's very like, I also feel like there's someone who feels, I don't know, I don't really want to say that, but like just feels kind of entitled to your energy. And there's a need to like set a boundary. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like someone who feels entitled to your energy. And it's stopping you from allowing yourself to move forward into a new cycle in love. And maybe it is the person you're with, and maybe it is time to set boundaries, even if that means that you run the risk of, someone walking away. That's always better, because that means that losing something that doesn't respect you opens the door for something that does. Okay, immediate future for Aries. This is a really deep reading. I know my readings can be deep, but my goodness. Immediate future for Aries. The Nine of Pentacles. With the Star. There's a level of you that does have a lot of resentment for something from your past, and you're very much entitled to that. You're entitled to feel that way, but that resentment is holding you back. Because what this is saying with the Star and the Nine of Pentacles, your healing is what's going to bring you to what you want. And this, again, is healing. It's forgiveness. It's forgiveness both for someone else and for yourself. And if you're struggling on how to do that, I'm just a tarot reader, I'm not a therapist, but one of the things that I've done to really help me is forgiveness letters. I'd write a letter of forgiveness from that person to me, knowing that that person was never going to apologize. From that person to me, I'd write a letter of forgiveness, and as if they were asking for forgiveness. And then I'd write a letter from me to them as if I was forgiving them, and then I'd burn them. Like a letter of them apologizing, and then a letter of you forgiving them. And that can be very therapeutic. A lot of times your mind doesn't really know the difference of where information is coming from. So I just feel like there's this level of needing to kind of dig deep, because to you it might be like, what's the point? Because they don't deserve it. You don't deserve to feel this resentment anymore, because you don't deserve to hurt the way that they've made you hurt still. And the thing is, the more that you hold on to that, the more that you will continue to see that in other people. Trust issues, right? And so the more that you're able to forgive your past, the more you're able to open your heart in your future. And you do bring love into the situation. See it from a lens of love. And I'm not saying, it's like, I feel like there's a level that's like, well, that's not my job. You don't have to say a dang thing to them. This is for you. Because, there's the World in reverse. There's a cycle that wants to complete here. And the only thing that can complete this cycle is this forgiveness, this healing. And you don't need them to apologize to forgive. It's like I think it was a TikTok, but it was a TikTok of a video of a YouTube channel. I have no idea. Wouldn't be able to track it down even if I wanted to. But in it was talking about like, you don't need them to apologize to heal. And the person, I don't even remember if it was a girl or a guy that was speaking, but she basically was like, why do you need them to apologize? Do you need them to validate the pain that they put you through? Like, do you need them to tell you that it's okay, you can hurt. You're allowed to hurt. I recognize that I treated you wrong now. Like, that's just giving them the power over you for you to even heal in the first place. And that within itself is staying trapped in their hold over you. And so I feel like there's this level of needing to really, truly try to forgive. And forgiveness is hard. I understand that, but it's also very healing, because when you get to that point of indifference where you're no longer angry, and again, this person doesn't have to have a single role in forgiveness. You can forgive someone, you can forgive yourself without them being involved. Immediate future for Aries. So the Three of Swords in reverse. Oh, and the Hierophant. And then the Three of Wands. It's outside of your comfort zone. But here's the thing. That kind of level of forgiveness of the situation that you've been through, it's going to bring you so much wisdom, like a complete perspective shift on relationships. And I feel like the thing is you're holding on to this like they don't deserve my forgiveness. But I keep wanting to say you don't deserve to feel angry anymore. You've spent your time being angry. You've had your angry phase, and anger is a very healthy emotion. But dwelling on it and allowing it to become a part of you is where you start to hold yourself back from cycles that are trying to complete. So what this is literally saying, I mean, this is the same Three of Swords in reverse as we have here, is it's like this healing, this forgiveness, it's going to bring you this perspective shift. Because remember, what we think, what we believe, what we focus on, that is what we create. And so the more wisdom and perspective shifts that we can have in our life, the more we create better things for ourselves. So think of it as like forgiving them is doing yourself a favor. Because the more when you forgive them, you can release them, you can release their energy, and that's the moment that they start feeling that loss of your energy. Because the more resentment and anger that you feed someone, especially if you're dealing with an energy vampire, they're going to eat that up. That's exactly what they want. They want you to still be thinking about them at 2 a.m 3 months after you guys haven't spoken. That's what that person wants. And so it's like that song by Taylor Swift, I Forgot That You Existed, popped in my head just now. And it's like I'm not gonna read the lyrics or say the lyrics exactly as they are, but basically the concept is she's like, I spent all this time thinking about you and thinking about how you did me wrong, and then one night I forgot that you existed, and it was the most peaceful night of my life. Like that's essentially what it is. It's like you don't have to forgive someone, but you can literally I'm sorry, you have to forgive someone so that you can literally go set yourself free, so that you can find that peace, right? I mean, this is another card of forgiveness here popping out. And that's why, like, I feel like, setting boundaries includes setting boundaries with yourself too, right? If you want to stop hurting because of the way someone treated you, you got to do the work, got to get there. And maybe you're not ready yet, and that's okay. You will forgive someone when you are ready, and set the intention. I am setting the intention to forgive this person for the way that they treated me, and then you will get there. The universe will lead you there. All right, Aries. Well, that was a therapy session if I've ever had one or been through one. I hope this reading resonated for someone out there. I know that this was insanely deep. We are going to hop on over to the extended, kind of shrink the collective a little bit, get a little bit more specific on the messages, and then I have my Soul Truth Self-Awareness deck to pull an advice card at the end. The information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much for the support of my channel. It means the absolute world to me, and I do hope to see you again in future weeks. All right, bye, Aries.